The Young and the Restless scoop for Friday, November 14th reveals Lily Winters will get an eyeful of Kane Ashby and Phyllis Summers. Also coming up, Victoria Newman and Nate Hastings will plan a dinner date. Plus, Nick Newman and Sharon Newman will get alarming news, and Mitch Bacall, aka Matt Clark, will make an accusation against Noah Newman. Why and I? Spoilers tease Sharon and Nick will learn their son checked himself out of the hospital. They'll ask the nurse where their son is gone, and she'll have no idea. But it won't take long for Sharon and Nick to figure out where he could be. Meanwhile, Noah will walk into the shadow room. "Did you just pop in to say hello?" Mitch will ask, as he strolls out from the back. He'll tell Noah he seems a little on edge and will blame his parents. "Apparently, I'm not even me. I'm some creepy guy," Mitch will add. "Tell me, what do you think? Do you believe it?" Noah will tell him he can't understand why his parents think he's someone else, unless there's something he doesn't know. "I have no idea why they think I'm some guy Matt," Mitch will say. He'll add he's gone out of his way to help him open a club in LA and been a good friend. "So why would you repay all this goodwill by sleeping with my wife?" However, Noah will deny it and say they're just friends. "The time for denying is gone. It's too late for that," Mitch will reply. He'll ask how long they've been having an affair. "I feel betrayed, Noah, and not just by Sienna," he'll add. "After everything I've done for you, you have the audacity to try and take what's mine." Noah will continue to deny having an affair with Sienna Bacall and head to the door. But Detective Burrows will stop him. He'll say he wants to drive him to the site of the crash. Noah will say he can't. He's meeting his parents. "That wasn't a request," Burrows will reply. Shortly after, Nick and Sharon will show up and ask Matt where their son is. He'll say the last he heard, Noah was in the hospital recovering from an accident. Nick will get angry and tell Matt that if he's harmed his son, he's a dead man. Back in Genoa City, Nate will tell Lily he couldn't be more pleased Kane's AI was stolen. He sees it as karmic justice. But Lily will say her ex seemed like he was lost and vulnerable. "I started to see glimpses of the man I fell in love with." Nate will ask if she feels bad for him. She won't answer, so Nate will say he thought she had moved on from Kane. Lily will leave, and Nate will run into Victoria. She'll suggest they go for a hot chocolate, and even though he just had one, he'll say he'd love to. They'll return to the park, and he'll admit it's his second hot chocolate. He just wanted to spend time with her. The former couple will plan to have dinner later. Meanwhile, Phyllis will move in closer to Kane and ask why she'd be seducing him now. "Just tell me I'm right," he'll reply. Phyllis will ask what he thinks, and Kane will say he'd be flattered and thoroughly intrigued. "Imagine where this could go if we explored it further," Phyllis will say. But Kane will remind her he's still in love with Lily. Phyllis will say Lily doesn't want to be with the person he is now. "I think you're setting yourself up for disappointment." However, Kane will say he's not giving up. Then he'll want to go back to the attempted seduction. Phyllis will say he brought up Lily to put up a wall between them. "I'm attracted to you. I like you," she'll tell Kane. Phyllis will add she goes after what she wants, and she'll say he should do the same. "I suggest you stop clinging to the past and make a fresh start." She'll kiss him, and Lily will walk in and see it. She'll walk up to Kane. "Do I even want to know what that was about?" Lily will ask. Kane will ask if it bothered her, and she'll say no. Once again, he'll plead with her for another chance. But as usual, Lily will shut him down, so he'll head to the Genoa, see Phyllis at the bar, and tell her she was right. It's time for a fresh start. Keep reading The Soap Scoop for Young and The Restless spoilers and news, and make sure to also join our Why in Our Facebook group or leave us a reply in our comments section. But if you miss an episode, don't fret. You can watch The Young and the Restless online at cbs.com. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, Pulse Canvas. It's me, Julie here. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Keep watching. So let's dive into today's video. Here are your spoilers for The Young and the Restless episode, airing Friday, November 14th, 2025. Victoria and Nate are having trouble not acknowledging their chemistry. Their short-lived romance ended after Nate got caught up in Vicky's family and business shenanigans, but the couple's chemistry can't be denied. Nate stepped up after Cole died and provided emotional support to Victoria. Recently, Nate split from Audra Charles because he couldn't see past her duplicitous behavior. She teamed up with Vicky's dad, Victor, to further her own needs with Vibrante. On Friday's show, Nate and Vicky will have trouble ignoring their chemistry. Audra would find it ironic if her ex ended up with the daughter of the man she tried to ally herself with. Lily has made it clear that she's over Kane, her ex, and she has no desire to reconcile with him. But does that mean she's ready to see him in a compromising position with Phyllis? That's what's going to happen on Friday's episode. A few questions pop to mind. For starters, does Lily still have feelings for Kane? Also, why is Kane with Phyllis? He suspects that she swiped the AI software and handed it over to Victor. Is Kane cozying up to Phyllis to get some answers from her? Noah's gotten himself into a mess in Los Angeles. He's been intimate with a married woman. Then, he got in a car accident. That by many accounts was not an accident. Things may be getting worse for Nick and Sharon's son. On Friday's show, he's going to get backed into a corner. Does this mean Matt is going to put Noah in a dangerous position? Or will it be something else? It seems not a week goes by without a fake account trying to impersonate a soap star. It's been an ongoing issue where some fans have been taken advantage of, and the latest daytime star to give everyone a heads up about a recent interaction on social media is the young and the restless Joshua Morrow, who plays Nick, a man on a mission to stop Mitch, who happens to be posing as a fake himself. It all started when a fake X account going by the name of Joshua Morrow 507 engaged with a soap fan in the comments under an old photo of Morrow's son Crew from 2017, when his son had landed in the hospital after a sports ing. Yuri, the original post from the CBS soap star stated, "I love having hyper-athletic boys who are fearless. Downside is the emergency rooms have the Morrows on speed dial." A fan, Elite Lynn, replied back in 2017, "Bless his heart. Hope he feels better soon," from South Georgia. And on November 12th of this year, the fake Joshua Morrow 507 account replied, "Thank you so much, my beloved fan. I want you to support on his medicine bills." This comment caused the real Morrow to stand up and not only point out the fake account, but to remind all fans of something very important. "This is a fake," Morrow warned, then went on to stress, "Nobody on our show or anyone in the public eye is going to do that. Be smart." Morrow isn't the only actor who has had to step forward and give these warnings. Mark Grossman, who plays his on-screen brother Adam, sent an extreme word of caution back in August. So fans, please, like Morrow stated, be smart and do not engage with these fake accounts. Welcome to the Young and the Restless Daily YAPP for a quick, and by that I mean you're already halfway done, recap of the most amazing or what the heck did we just watch moments on today's episode. Let's get to it. We're not sure who to feel more sorry for on The Young and the Restless, Daniel or Tessa. Mariah, or rather her doctors and personnel at the clinic, are discouraging her from seeing Tessa. We can't blame Tessa for feeling sad. How many times can she handle being pushed away by the woman she loves or by her medical team? Apparently, quite a few. Mariah has told Tessa time and time again that she can't be with her. She finally confessed that it was because she nearly killed a mysterious man. Mariah just can't get past this, despite recently banishing a demonic hallucination in the form of Ian Ward, the man she blames for her tortured psyche. The facility is supposed to be helping Mariah. If she was making progress, then Tessa should have been given some encouraging news. Instead, Tessa is left with once again the impression that it's over. She throws herself into Daniel's arms without much thought as to what all this is doing to him. Poor Daniel cares about Tessa. He's not made of stone. Is he supposed to just be the best friend she can lean on until Mariah finally comes around? His heart will get broken all over again. This story has had a few starts and stops. We're hoping that it can wrap up. Either break up Mariah and Tessa once and for all, or bring them back together. Want more details? We got you! Soap Central has the best full YNR recaps on the internet. You can even go back over 30 years and read each and every one of them. If you can't wait until the next episode, we have daily spoilers too. And whatever you do this weekend, do not, seriously do not, Forget to read the 2 scoops for some laughs in the as close as we can come to being a watching party without actually being a show. And the best part is, if you agree or disagree, we want to know. As always, share your comments below. On the Thursday, November 13th, episode of The Young and the Restless, Adam set his sights on humiliating Billy, Danny and Christine planned their wedding, Tessa gave up on her marriage, and sparks flew between Phyllis and Kane. Danny and Christine met at the Genoa City Athletic Club, and she thanked him for meeting her there. He had a surprise for her inside a bag, but he told her she'd have to wait to see the contents. They were there to meet a wedding planner, and although they did a sizable amount of the planning themselves, Christine wanted someone to get into the weeds of it all. She believed that someone handling the minor details would help ease their minds on the happiest day of their lives. Danny expressed gratitude that, after many years, they finally found their way back to one another. He didn't think anything could derail their happiness. He confessed he'd done some secret wedding planning, and despite her insistence, the wedding planner interrupted before he could further query. He recognized Danny from his status as a rock music legend, and the planner wanted to honor his legendary career. Pietro refused to look at any of Christine's notes, and although she wanted a smaller, more intimate affair, he wanted them to have a rock god-style wedding. Pietro was hopeful that the ceremony would be on the scale of Taylor Swift's Eras Tour and Moulin Rouge. Danny and Christine looked a bit horrified as they listened to more grandiose suggestions from the out-of-touch wedding coordinator. He pitched an idea where Danny's classic music videos would play wall to wall, and Christine would rise from the floor to enter the ceremony. In his vision, Christine would be in leather on a motorcycle, but he pitched the idea of an elephant instead. Danny played along with the ridiculousness of it all, but Christine found it entirely unhinged. Christine couldn't believe what she was hearing, and the more Pietro spoke, the more Christine felt like her dream wedding slipped out of her fingers. All of Pietro's ideas were out of this world, and when he asked for their input on the ideas, Danny said it was amazing. Christine told him that it was unlike anything she had ever heard, and he requested suggestions from the bridge. She begged for her wedding to be a simplistic affair. He didn't think a couple like them should have a stripped-down ceremony. Danny complimented Pietro's ideas, but he wanted Christine to have whatever she wanted. They finally got through to him and made him realize they wanted a classic, elegant event. He agreed to review Christine's notes to give her the wedding she had always dreamed of. Inside the master bag, at the beginning of the episode, was revealed to be a box of donut holes, which is the pastry of the ceremony. Phyllis was thrilled to learn that Lucy was spending the summer in Milan with Summer. She informed Daniel about Sharon's voicemail, and that Noah was finally on the mend. He was surprised to hear about his mother and Sharon maintaining contact with each other, but he wanted to focus on planning Lucy's Italian vacation. He recognized that she was spending a lot of time discussing Lucy and not bringing any attention to her own life. Daniel asked for an update on her partnership with Kane, and if she was still intent on conquering the world by his side. She didn't give him a straight answer, and he picked up on her evasiveness. Phyllis told him that things were moving along as planned, but he knew that she was likely up to something nefarious. She proclaimed that she didn't care what he approved of or not, and she quickly left Crimson Lights. Daniel got up to leave as well, but Tessa arrived at the coffee shop on the verge of tears. She explained that she hadn't reached out in a bit because she had made another trip to Boston. Daniel asked how the visit went, and an emotional Tessa collapsed into his arms. Daniel told her not to apologize for breaking down, and he wanted her to explain what happened. Mariah wouldn't see her. Mariah apparently insisted that Tessa not be allowed to see her, and she told both the staff and security to keep her out. The facility recommended that Mariah be kept isolated from outside communication. Despite knowing Mariah was undergoing intensive therapy, she couldn't support Mariah turning her back on her loved ones at home. Tessa believed that her wife was making a calculated choice to shut her out. They took a walk through Chancellor Park, and Daniel tried to get her to see things rationally. Daniel pointed out that the communication cutoff was at the recommendation of the medical staff, so it wasn't entirely Mariah's choice. They believed that Mariah's energy needed to be spent on treatment, not on visits to Tessa. However, Tessa wasn't having it. She didn't think Mariah was improving at the clinic in Boston. She wanted Mariah to leave that clinic and come closer to Genoa City to heal closer to her family. Tessa was afraid Mariah could pull further away with time. Despite Mariah nearly killing a man, the only thing Tessa felt like was killed by Mariah's actions was their marriage. Tessa was ready to let go of her marriage and move on with her life. Daniel didn't think their love story was over, but it was merely a blip on their long journey together as a couple. Tessa didn't think it was fair to their daughter, and Mariah's actions spoke loudly, and her words spoke even louder. Daniel tried to get Tessa to play things out, but inevitably, he agreed to be a good friend who would simply be there for her, however she needed him. He wondered what a good friend should do moving forward. She said that if it comes to divorce, she'll need a strong shoulder to lean on. Daniel didn't think this was the end of their marriage, but she was unwilling to put their daughter through any further hardship. He believed it was a significant leap. However, Tessa didn't see any viable options for her future. Kane asked for a coffee at Society, but he was immediately flanked by Adam, who continued his taunts. Adam wondered why Kane was busy eating breakfast at a restaurant instead of figuring out who unleashed his AI program against him. Kane knew Victor was behind the attack, but Adam wanted him to second-guess his hypothesis. Kane vowed to find evidence that Victor was behind the theft, but Adam had questions for the fallen titan of business. He asked why someone like Kane would remain focused on Victor when he had a plethora of enemies in Genoa City. Several people died because of Kane's antics in Nice, so Adam laid out the possibility that anyone could have swiped the program. Kane asked if Adam aided Victor in stealing the program. Adam thought that Victor didn't need the program to showcase his power. Still, Kane was insistent that the truth about who made off with the software would come to light. Adam urged Kane to get back on one of his many trains and scurry back to where he came from. Kane was primed to fight back harder, and Victor, or whoever else, would contend with his wrath once he uncovered the truth. Adam wondered how Kane could exact revenge against whoever had wronged him. He suggested Kane pack things up and depart Genoa City with whatever he hates left. He brought up the division between Kane and his children/Lily, and taunted him about his company being left in ruins. Adam couldn't think of a better thing to happen to Kane, but Kane flipped the script and thanked him. Adam couldn't fathom why Kane would thank someone whom he thought was responsible for crumbling his corporate empire. Kane felt like he had too much money and power, and none of it meant anything if everyone he cared about turned their back on him. Adam agreed to pass along the message and hinted that there might be others to whom he should express gratitude. Phyllis asked Kane if he was serious about not being upset about the program. Kane said if she was behind the theft and handed it over to Victor, she was also owed his gratitude. Phyllis said that Kane's sad act was ridiculous and that his life wasn't ruined. She assured him she didn't steal his program, but he reminded her that his tech team would sniff out the guilty party. Kane was certain that they'd uncover a breadcrumb left behind by whomever betrayed him. Kane complimented Phyllis's ability to remain focused on whatever prize she had in mind, remaining unwavering in the immense pressure around her. He asked her if Victor had promised her arabesque in exchange for handing over the software. Phyllis wanted to celebrate Kane's new attitude that stemmed from the downfall of his company. He believed that she was mocking his mindset, but she denied that. She was certain he'd find a way to rebuild. However, it wasn't at the top of his priority list. Kane was more focused on making amends to Lily and the twins, and his company served as a distraction against that. All he wanted was to make things right with his kids, and he needed Phyllis's help to do so. He wanted Lily back, and she was the key to making that happen. Phyllis reminded him that other women in Genoa City would accept him for who he was in the present, rather than relying on memories. Adam visited Victor at the Newman Ranch and asked for any updates on Michael's investigation into Mitch and Sienna Bicall. Victor admitted there were a few promising leads, and Adam was happy to see him and Michael on better terms. Adam was puzzled that Kane was barely fazed by his company's collapse due to the AI program. Victor thought it was an act, and Kane would ultimately find a way to strike back. He wanted an update from Adam about his distraction plan against the Abbotts. He planned to use Abbott Communications, and Adam wanted to convince the mystery investor to withdraw the funding. He didn't think it would be difficult to do. Adam planned to humiliate Billy at the launch party with the news. The Young and the Restless, spoilers for Thursday, November 13th, indicate some interesting moments in Genoa City. Two characters are on the attack, while another feels the need to defend themselves, and a super couple enjoys some wedding fun. What's on the horizon for Thursday's show? Time to find out. The Young and the Restless, spoilers for Thursday, November 13th, reveal that Victor Newman and Adam Newman will strike while the iron is hot when they take an opportunity to attack Billy Abbott. Will this be a verbal attack, or could they launch something against Abbott Communications? The mustache does have the AI software program and could strike at any time. Even though Abbott Communications is not quite established yet, anything is possible, right? Then again, do they taunt him and warn they are coming after his family's legacy, Jabot? Speaking of that AI software, Kane Ashby will feel forced to defend his actions. Many in the little town are pointing the finger of blame toward the billionaire, even though he's technically a victim in all this. Read this: The Young and the Restless. Spoilers: Detective Burrow's death or redemption, Matt Cohen spills on character's future. Sure, he created the program with ill intentions, but he didn't plan to use it. Plus, someone, looking at you, Phyllis Summers, stole it from him, so it's not exactly Kane's fault if anyone loses their company. But many in GC don't see it that way. Over to some feel-good news. The Young and the Restless, spoilers for Thursday, imply that Christine Blair and Danny Romalotti will place some finishing touches on their wedding plans. The big event is happening next week on the Friday, November 21st show. So, will the nuptials go off without a hitch? This is a soap opera after all. What storyline are you most looking forward to during Thursday's show? Share your thoughts in the comment section below. Be sure to check back with Soap Opera Spy for all the latest The Young and the Restless spoilers, news, rumors, comings and goings, and updates. The Young and the Restless spoilers for Wednesday, November 12th hint at some major moments ahead. Two rivals trade threats, while someone breaks a promise to a loved one, and a character spits some truths to a new friend. What's on the horizon for Wednesday's show? Time to find out. The Young and the Restless, spoilers for Wednesday, November 12th, suggest Sharon Newman will trade threats with Mitch Bacall, aka Matt Clark. The good news is that Sharon knows Matt is alive, and she can expect the unexpected from him. However, the bad news is that it sounds like the incident between him, Noah Newman, and Mitch, Matt's wife, Sienna Bacall, has added fuel to the fire where their rivalry is concerned. Speaking of the drama in Los Angeles, Nick Newman will tell Sienna about the man she's married to. Sienna clearly knows Mitch is dangerous, but when Nick informs her that he is Matt Clark, and he tells her everything the man has done to both him and Sharon, she may still be shocked. Will she end up fleeing to Genoa City with Noah, Nick, and Sharon to escape Matt? Could this further antagonize Mitch/Matt? Plus, do any other fans feel as if Nick and Sienna may cross a line? Could there be a father-son love triangle looming? How would this all affect the chic romance, too? It'll be interesting to see where the storyline is headed. In other news that Y&R fans should have anticipated, The Young and the Restless, spoilers for Wednesday note that Billy Abbott will break a promise to Sally Spectra. Sally has placed a lot of trust and hope in Billy, so if this has to do with Abbott Communication, this could be the end of the road for Sally. What storyline are you most looking forward to during Wednesday's show? Share your thoughts in the comment section below. Be sure to check back with Soap Opera Spy for all the latest The Young and the Restless spoilers, news, rumors, comings and goings, and updates. The Young and the Restless spoilers note that Victor Newman has never been on good terms with Phyllis Summers, Kane Ashby, Billy Abbott, or Matt Clark. With that said, from the looks of it, Eric Braeden and his co-stars leave all that drama for when the cameras are rolling. Braeden is a soap veteran who is quite active on social media. In fact, many times you'll see him expressing his different opinions on platforms like X and Facebook. He recently hopped on Instagram to share a behind-the-scenes photo with colleagues, Stafford, Flynn, Thompson, and newest castmate, Roger Howarth. The group were surrounded, arm in arm, with Stafford doing a little curtsy in the pic. Braden's IG caption read, on a break from filming with some great colleagues. Stafford got on Instagram some hours after Braden and posted some selfie shots of the group herself. The pictures showed some fun and silly faces donned on Victor, Kane, Phyllis, Billy, and villainous Matt. Stafford's IG caption read, "More with de boys number YYR at Eric Braden Gudegast, at InLike Billy Flynn, at My Jason Thompson, at The Real Roger Haworth." All 5 of their characters have intense storylines on the CBS soap, with Phyllis, Kane, and Victor dealing with some drama thanks to Kane's AI software. Billy's a bit intertwined with the Phyllis/Kane/Victor storyline, and Roger Haworth's Mitch Bacall, aka Matt Clark, is causing chaos in Los Angeles. Still, it sounds like it won't be long until Matt stirs the pot in Genoa City and causing trouble for the Newmans. The interesting thing is, Y&R spoilers have revealed that Haworth's character won't be on the soap long-term, but as the show films some weeks ahead of broadcast, it does look like Haworth will still be around come the new year. How much do you love these backstage photos that Eric Braden and Michelle Stafford posted? Comment below. The Young and the Restless spoilers for the week of November 17th suggest some curveballs. Fans can expect Matt Clark, aka Mitch Bacall, to make another dangerous move. Meanwhile, Audra Charles' secret is at risk. Plus, Danny Romalotti and Christine Cricket Blair get closer to their wedding day. Keep reading, and let's talk about what is coming up in the CBS soap opera. Let's start off with Audra, whose old secret will be at risk. The brunette learned that Claire Grace Newman was digging. So, Holden Novak told the blonde a story. It seems a few facts in the story were true, but Holden likely covered the rest of the time. In any case, Claire could drop a hint to Audra that she's lucky she's not in prison. Of course, Claire is talking about the part of Holden's story where Audra sent him stolen money as a thank you gift. However, it seems the truth is far more sinister. Over with Holden, expect him to be down in the dumps about being rejected. Claire had fun with Holden and enjoyed passion. However, she also admitted she wonders if a part of her is just afraid of commitment. It won't be just Holden that Claire avoids. The blonde will also try to keep away from Kyle Abbott. The Young and the Restless spoilers for the week of November 17th reveal that Lily Winters will react following a shocking discovery. It sounds like Lily finds Kane Ashby and Phyllis Summers in an awkward position. If Kane wanted any chance with Lily, this probably ruins it for good. As for Noah Newman, he will realize that Nick Newman and Sharon Newman were right all along. Matt Sashmichich is taking steps to eliminate Noah. We know that Lucas just scored the role, so Noah isn't going to get killed off right now. However, Matt/Mitch will be looking to get revenge and punish those he thinks are guilty. Back in Genoa City, expect Danny and Christine to begin their wedding. It's set to kick off on November 21st. Expect returns include Gina Roma and Nina Webster. So stay tuned. Which storyline are you looking forward to seeing the most during the week of November 17th, 2025? Share your thoughts in the comment section below. Michelle Stafford is one proud mom. The Young and the Restless star. Michelle Stafford's greatest role is being a mother. The actress is mom to daughter Natalia and son Jameson. Stafford is always gushing about her kids and recently shared one of her daughter's special honors. Stafford has become a household name thanks to her role as Phyllis on Y&R. But now her daughter, Natalia, is shining in the spotlight. The young girl is her mom's biggest supporter and recently accompanied her to the 2025 Daytime Emmys. Stafford and Natalia turned heads as they posed for photos on the red carpet. Mother and daughter brought the glam that night with Stafford in a sparkling gown and Natalia in a burgundy dress. While Stafford looked lovely, it was her daughter Natalia who stole the show. The teen was recently named one of Hello Magazine's Best Dressed from the Daytime Emmys, an honor her mom was proud of. On Instagram, Stafford shared a red carpet photo of her and Natalia, along with a clip from the magazine's article. That time at Hello Mag named my daughter at Natalia Stafford, one of the 10 best dressed at the Emmys. Just saying, the actress captioned the post. Fans and Stafford's co-stars agreed with the magazine's list. I second that, wrote Y&R actress Susan Walters. She gets her style from her mama. one fan replied. "She is absolutely stunning. The perfect dresses for the queen and her princess hearts," one user wrote. "Oh, how cool is that? And rightfully so," another fan wrote. Natalia was her mother's date for this year's Daytime Emmys after her brother Jameson turned down Stafford's invite. The teenager was cheering on her mom, who had been nominated for Outstanding Lead Actress in a Drama Series. While the actress didn't get the win, it was a fun night for mother and daughter. And this wasn't Natalia's first time at the awards ceremony. She was Stafford's +1 for the 2023 show. With Stafford putting in amazing work this year, chances are she'll be nominated for a 2026 Daytime Emmy. Although the awards show is still a long way away, Natalia might be her mom's date again for the big night. Kane opens up to Phyllis as Adam sets a trap for Billy, and Victor's ruthless strategy threatens to destroy them all. In the November 13th episode of The Young and the Restless, Kane took a surprising step toward redemption, opening up to Phyllis about his losses, regrets, and need to rebuild after Victor's devastating AI strike. Across town, Adam made his move against Billy, plotting to publicly humiliate him in a strategic play designed to impress Victor. Both moments revealed the tension between revenge and renewal in Genoa City, and hinted that a new corporate and personal war is about to begin. Kane faced the aftermath of losing control of his company after Victor's calculated AI attack. When Adam found him at Society, Kane refused to take the bait. Instead of rage, he projected calm, even thanking Victor for forcing him to reevaluate his priorities. The exchange unsettled Adam, who expected fury, not reflection. When Phyllis arrived, their conversation took on a more personal tone. Kane confessed that he wanted to rebuild his life from the ground up, not just his business, but his relationships too. He admitted to wanting to make amends with his children and even Lily, though Phyllis shot down the idea as unrealistic. Still, their connection deepened when she offered to help him reconnect with his family. The tension grew palpable when Kane teased that she sounded like she was trying to seduce him, a line that shifted their dynamic in an instant. Kane's sudden humility marks a potential turning point. For years, he's defined himself by competition, control, and ego, all traits that helped destroy his empire. By opening up to Phyllis, he may have found an unlikely ally, but also one capable of using his vulnerability to her advantage. Phyllis's involvement in Victor's AI plot remains unclear, but her proximity to both men puts her in a dangerous position. If she's sincere, this could mark a redemptive chapter for them both. If not, Kane's trust could become her latest weapon. Meanwhile, Adam's decision to publicly humiliate Billy reveals his enduring need for Victor's approval. On the surface, it's business, a bid to convince an investor to abandon Abbott Communications, but emotionally, it's another move in Adam's lifelong struggle to prove his worth to his father. Every step deeper into Victor's orbit risks undoing his fragile independence. The ripple effects of these choices could be enormous. Kane's quest for redemption may clash directly with Victor's hunger for dominance, and Phyllis could find herself caught between them. Adam's scheming risks triggering another Newman-Abbott war, one that won't just target businesses but relationships, reputations, and trust itself. In Genoa City, peace never lasts long, and tonight's uneasy calm feels like the silence before the next explosion. Tessa wants to work on her marriage, but Mariah doesn't want anything to do with her. On The Young and the Restless, November 13th episode, Tessa wondered whether her marriage to Mariah was over. Once again, she confided in Daniel, who was falling even more in love with her. Tessa entered Crimson Lights in tears. She hugged Daniel, telling him that she had gone to see Mariah again. Daniel asked Tessa what had happened. Tessa confessed that Mariah refused to see her. The staff agreed that it was best for Mariah not to let her wife in if she showed up. She also won't return Tessa's calls. Mariah swiftly blocked her wife and their daughter from her life. As Tessa and Daniel walked to Chancellor Park, Tessa wondered whether Mariah was done with her. Daniel told Tessa that she needed to try harder. As they sat down, Tessa exclaimed that she thought she would be with Mariah forever. Daniel doesn't believe their love story is over, but Tessa isn't so sure. She wondered how she would break the news to Arya. Tessa told Daniel that she would need a friend during this difficult time in her life. Daniel isn't sure if he can help since he has feelings for her. But Tessa knows that she can't save Mariah anymore. She has to save herself, and she wants her friend along for the ride. Later in the episode, Tessa and Daniel showed up at the club. They ran into Cricket and Danny, who were busy planning their wedding. They asked them to try the donut holes. Daniel and Tessa loved this uncanny idea for their wedding cake. After the fiancés left, Daniel told Tessa that he needed to speak to her about the wedding. Yes, they're performing a song together, but he wants more. He decided to shoot his shot. Daniel asked Tessa how she would feel about going as his date. Earlier, Tessa said she wasn't sure what her future entailed. Does this involve a new beginning with Daniel? Y&R fans are rooting for Tessa and Daniel after their steamy kiss. Although Daniel is a supportive friend, he can't help but have feelings for her. Will Tessa move forward with Daniel? If so, does this mean her marriage to Mariah is officially over? The Young and the Restless spoilers reveal that fans were shocked when they learned the mysterious Mitch Bacall, played by soap veteran Roger Howarth, was actually thought to be dead Matt Clark. Now that the storyline is in full swing, the soap's head writer, Josh Griffith, recently teased that the character is set to cause chaos, not only for Nick Newman and Sharon Newman, but the entire Newman fam jam. The Young and the Restless head writer, Josh Griffith, sat down with Soap Opera Digest to talk about Matt Clark's explosive return. There were so many question marks when Schick arrived in Los Angeles, with the top two being, will their son, Noah Newman, survive the car collision he was in, and if the crash was done on purpose. The Lady Club owner not only had a connection to Noah, but who also happened to be an old friend of Holden Novak and knew of Audra Charles. Interestingly enough, Holden and Audra have an unraveling story of their own from LA, but that's another soap blog entirely. Still, nothing shocked Y&R audiences more than the discovery that Sienna's husband, Mitch, who had been MIA for a few days, was none other than Schick's nemesis from years before, Matt Clark. Since, fans have seen some explosive confrontation between Matt and Nick, as well as Matt and Sharon. So, what happens next? Griffith states that Nick and Sharon's confrontations, and then leaving LA, marks the end of the first part of the storyline. Still, the head writer warns that these encounters have only set them up for more trouble in the future. Griffith tells SODE, they are hoping that everything in the denouement of the Los Angeles part of the story will have so scared him off that he'd be foolish to come after them. But they're wrong. The head writer hints, second act is definitely they return to Genoa City, and Matt and all his trouble follow. It becomes a nightmare, not just for Nick and Sharon, but to the whole Newman family. Yikes! Are you enjoying Roger Howarth's run on the Y&R? Comment below. Watch your favorite CBS soap daily, and check out this site often for the best Young and the Restless spoilers, news, and updates. The Young and the Restless recap for Thursday, November 13th reveals that Phyllis Summers will seduce Kane Ashby, while Billy Abbott gets targeted for some launch party humiliation. At Society, Adam Newman will taunt Kane over Arabesque turning to ashes, but Kane will act like Victor Newman did him a favor and deserves his gratitude. Kane will suggest that losing everything could be a chance to reset his priorities and focus on his family. After Phyllis dodges Daniel Romolotti's Kane-related questions at Crimson Lights, she'll head to Society as well. Phyllis will once again deny stealing the AI program, but Kane will point out that his tech team is on it, and even the best hacker in the world will leave behind a breadcrumb. However, Kane will also acknowledge that losing everything could help him make amends with Lily Winters and his kids. When Kane seeks Phyllis's help, she'll agree to pitch in when it comes to the twins, but she'll think it's a lost cause to fight for Lily. Phyllis will push Kane to let Lily go, and perhaps see that what he wants is right in front of him. Kane will question what Phyllis means, so she'll note that there are other women who don't judge him for his past and appreciate who he is now. Kane will admit that if he didn't know any better, he'd think Phyllis was trying to seduce him. Back with Daniel, he'll comfort Tessa Porter when she enters the coffee house and bursts into tears. Tessa will be upset over Mariah Copeland turning down her latest visit and refusing to take her calls. Daniel will eventually head to the park with Tessa. and point out that this is part of Mariah's treatment. But Tessa will still feel like Mariah is choosing to shut her out. Since Tessa can't keep signing up for more rejection, she'll feel like the only path forward may be a messy divorce. At the GCAC, Pietro, the wedding planner, will meet with Christine Blair and Danny Romalotti to discuss how he can make their vision for their big day a reality. Although Pietro will have all kinds of wild rock star ideas, Christine will convince him to keep things simple and elegant. After Pietro exits on Thursday's Y&R episode, Danny will pull out a dessert box and acknowledge that they haven't settled on a wedding cake yet. Danny will suggest a donut tree instead, since Christine loves powdered donuts, so she'll get on board as they sample. Once Daniel and Tessa pop up, they'll share some donuts before Danny and Christine exit. Daniel will mention that he's already going to escort Lucy Romalotti to the wedding, but he'll wonder how Tessa would feel about being his date. Back with Adam, he'll join Victor at the ranch, where he'll share his idea to distract the Abbotts. Adam will plan to figure out who Billy's new mystery investor is and convince them to pull the funding for Abbott Communications. From there, Adam will want to give Billy updates on the bad news at the launch party and totally humiliate him. Victor will approve and suggest that while this is happening, he can focus on going after Jack Abbott. The Young and the Restless spoilers say another storm could be brewing for Billy, thanks to the Newman scheme, so stay tuned. The Young and the Restless spoilers hint that Detective Burrow may be facing death or redemption. When Matt Cohen spilled on his character's future in a new interview with Saudi, he presented those two possibilities and shared the one he thinks Detective Burrow is headed for. For starters, Cohen acknowledged that there must be a reason why Detective Burrow is involved in all this shadiness. Detective Burrow is a dirty cop who's accepting Mitch Bacall, aka Matt Clark's money, in exchange for following orders. However, Cohen admitted he thinks there's more to it than Burrow's detective job not paying him well enough. But I highly doubt in Soapland that it's as simple a reason as that, if you know what I'm saying. Be suspicious, Cohen insisted. Of course, if there's some deeper explanation for why Burrow is doing what he's doing, that could open the door to him protecting someone he cares about, or something along those lines. Regardless, Matt Cohen feels like it's important for every character to work towards some redemptive path, unless the plan is for them to face a grim fate. I think every character, good or bad, has to have some sort of redemption, or we just hate them and we gotta kill them off, and a bus hits them tomorrow, Cohen said. Cohen is indeed holding out hope for redemption when it comes to Detective Burrow. As the Y&R star and General Hospital alum reflected on playing other deeply troubled characters in the past, he suggested there still tends to be some redeeming factor involved. Cohen predicted the writers would ultimately choose redemption for Detective Burrow, so stay tuned for updates on whether he'll be proven right in the end. The Young and the Restless spoilers say Detective Burrow will remain tangled up in Matt's drama in the meantime, so stick with us for any unsettling news to come. Did he use Sienna to get back at the Newmans? On The Young and the Restless, on November 12th, Sienna demanded answers from her husband, Mitch Bacall, whom she discovered was actually Matt Clark. This mystery has us wondering whether she was a pawn in his twisted game. That's the question on Sienna's mind today. Nick walked in on her kissing his son, Noah. He interrupted their makeout session to speak with Sienna alone. He demanded answers about their secret affair. Sienna reminded Nick that it wasn't his place to know what was going on in her personal life. Nick wished she had told him what happened that night of Noah's crash. It didn't take Nick long to mention Sienna's husband, Mitch Bacall, who is actually Matt Clark, who plans evil for Sharon and Nick. She might not know her husband as well as she thinks she does. Nick and Sharon have known Matt since he was a teenager, and he's done some unspeakable things. Sienna questioned why her husband wasn't in jail if he committed such crimes. Up to this point, Sienna has been fiercely protective of Mitch, but there's clearly a problem in their marriage. Sienna and Noah had an affair for a good reason, but everything's vague at the moment. There's also secrecy in Sienna's marriage to Mitch. She had to confront him. Sienna told Matt that she knows everything about him. She wanted him to finally come clean. Matt acted like he didn't know what Sienna was talking about, but Sienna brought up a good point. She wanted to know if Mitch's connection to Noah was a scheme to trap Sharon and Nick. Y&R fans have a feeling that Matt's return is more about Nick than it is about Sharon. He could be using Sienna to finally get his revenge. Maybe some part of him knew that she would step out on him and have an affair with Nick Newman's son. This is the perfect excuse for entrapping the Newmans. Of course, Matt is going to act like Sienna is crazy, but that's exactly what he wants her to think. He told her to drop the idea. But his wife could be onto something here. Sienna threatened to report the matter to the authorities. Matt warned her that it would be a huge mistake. He might threaten to ruin her life and career, everything she's worked so hard to build. Noah and Nick aren't the only ones who could end up on his hit list. Matt might also have Sienna in his crosshairs since she's questioning his true identity. Christine and Danny are ready to say "I do." The Young and the Restless spoilers for Thursday, November 13th, reveal that Victor and Adam are gunning for Billy, which gives a new definition to punching down. It's not enough for Victor that he baits Billy every time they meet. It's not enough for Victor that he got Jill to take Chancellor Industries away from Billy and sell it to Victor so he could give it to Nikki to run. It's not enough for Victor that he now owns Kane's mystery computer program. He's already brought Kane to his knees and intends to do the same to Jack shortly. Nah. He and Adam also need to smother Billy's nascent communications company in the crib before it even has the chance to debut. Adam better run along and do that, or else Daddy might not love him. Again, Danny and Christine were originally going to get married in October. Then they were going to get married in November. It's November, and they're ready to get married. Cricket has picked her gown. And Danny has his best man in his set list. Now all they need to do is make sure Phyllis doesn't decide to crash and insist on making the toast. We've already heard everything she has to say, and it hasn't made sense up to this point. Odds are it won't, ever. Kane has been defeated by Phyllis. Who, as always, can't believe that a brilliant plan of hers has backfired spectacularly. And by Victor, who isn't surprised that he has succeeded brilliantly yet again. He always does. But Kane isn't quite ready to roll over and play dead. He has one more move left, and now is the time to use it.